What?
You know, you start every episode with a cough. It's like a tick or something. Every time I say, all right, ready? You go, yes.
Yeah,
and then go,
I have to clear my voice because I know a cough is going to come. So,
okay. Welcome back to Married to Macabre, the podcast where love is not dead, justice is on life support, and irony is the real killer. Do you like that?
I like that a lot. I wasn't expecting that.
I know, I saw it on your face. That's why I was like, did you like that?
I was like, wait, what? Do I have to come up with something myself?
No, just introduce yourself.
Yeah. Married to Macabre, we're back.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about the hiatus. We ironically... So I said irony's the real killer. Ironically, we had to take Halloween week off, where you would think we'd do our big Halloween episode.
No, but we have kids.
That was the problem. Yeah. and therein lies the problem.
Yeah, right.
We have 3 small children. So Halloween week is a lot like the week of Christmas leading into New Year in this household. Obviously.
It's like the Super Bowl.
It's like, well, it's definitely my Super Bowl. We all know that. Yeah. But the kids' school does like a really cute trunk or treat, but it's way over the top, which any moms who listen to this, I'm sure you agree. It's very over the top. I love it.
Yeah, I'm sure you get a pass though.
Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. But I'm just saying, like, where you say it's a trunk or treat, people think it's like, oh, you decorate little trunks and it's so sweet. No. We do it in the gym. Each grade gets a section. We build props. Like it is pandemonium, and it is the best freaking time ever.
Yeah, it's
nuts. I think it's definitely more for us than the kids. I'm not even gonna lie, but the kids do love it.
Oh yeah, no, the parents do get into it.
Oh my god, we have so much fun.
You guys have events.
Yes.
You guys have moms nights like weeks before, right?
Yeah, and we plan it.
You guys disguise it as events.
No, you're talking about mom night.
Oh, is it just strictly mom night?
Our homeroom moms did do a mom night, and the entire purpose of that was to have a mom night. There was no secret agenda there. You knew exactly what I was going to that Mexican restaurant to do. That is what was done. So, no, those are good times. We have really good homeroom moms. They set those up. But no, this is like each grade does it. They have a theme. And like 8th grade gets the stage, so they do a whole big thing, and the staff dresses up and helps 8th grade. It's really sweet. The school's like real big on 8th grade, and I can't believe we're going to be there soon. Like, I don't even want to talk about that part. But I literally got emotional when they did the 8th grade photo, and they played Macklemore's The Good Old Days while they were doing this. Mm-hmm. And I'm not an emotional person. I stood there and stared at it, and I got so emotional. I had to like turn around. Somebody,
Bubba.
One of my teammates, I guess, was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm music? Like, "I don't think so."
You've always had an affinity to music, though, right? Like a connection.
Yeah, songs those are like
they hit your soul.
They're the only things that make me cry. We've explained. We've been driving in the car, and I'll just like have a tear roll down my face on like a rock song, and Isaac's like, "What is happening right now?" And it's like, I don't know. It's been like that since I was young. But no, and just watching the 8th graders and like with that song, and then they started crying. Like the kids got emotional, and then so obviously I was just like, all I could think of was when we're there in a few short years. I'm just like, I always thought I wasn't gonna like it would be no big deal, like, yeah, she's going to high school. This is great. I never thought I'd get emotional about it. Like, we've talked about this, remember? Where I've been like, did everyone get so emotional? Like, oh my God, it's so weird. I don't know if that was a preview, but it's not going to be good in 2 years when my baby girl goes to high school. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, that's the real horror story.
I want to think about something happier, like a murder or something.
I know, right? I'm like, that's the real horror story. So we're going to tell the tale of how our baby girl grew up.
Oh, no.
It's like so freaking scary.
You leave me out of that one.
But yeah, so I was lucky enough, because that's another thing, getting picked to do these things, because I'm not homeroom mom this year. So I have to like sign up and stuff. And you know me with Halloween. How stressed was I? I was like, oh my God. I have to get trunk or treat. Oh my God, I'm going to cry if I don't get trunk or treat. So I got trunk or treat for Zaki's class and I was so happy and we had the best time, but it makes the week very busy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, and then a lot of stuff was happening for me at work. It was like a super busy, crazy, transitioning, weird time at work over the same week. So
Yeah, you guys are suing everybody before Christmas, right?
no, I do defense. Thank you. Okay, people sue us. But no, just work was a lot that week. So with that being said, it was just an unexpectedly overwhelming time. So we decided we had to take Halloween week off, and we're back and we're ready to jump back into it, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You didn't look too sure. So today's tale actually is not as heavy as the others have been. All right. In this one, there's actually not a murder.
No.
No. There is crime. Do not fret, my pet. There is crime. There is crime. But something that happened on the Tylenol murder episode inspired me. Remember when that dude who like allegedly absolutely did it, he got off on like a dismemberment murder charge? Remember?
Yeah.
And you were like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, because he wasn't read his Miranda rights.
Yeah.
So that gave me an idea to have a little conversation about our friend Ernesto Arturo Miranda, the man who gave us Miranda rights.
Oh.
Yes.
Is that's where that came from, right?
Absolutely. It came from a Supreme Court case, Arizona v. Miranda, and vice versa, because there was appeals and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It made it to the Supreme Court. And that is where our Constitution... No, I hate how that's worded. So I'm just going to make something very clear at the beginning. Ernesto Arturo Miranda did not give us shit, okay? He's a horrible person. He is just the reason most Americans are aware of their constitutional right to not self-incriminate. So, like,
Miranda.
Yes, let's be clear. It was always our right. We have the constitutional right to essentially remain silent. It's the Fifth Amendment. There is a protection against self-incrimination and the right to counsel. So we already had these rights. Just nobody knew about it, and the cops weren't telling people, and they were supposed to be. So
Miranda just what? He basically just...
because of him, you now have to be read your Miranda rights.
Oh, I get you.
So before we get into that, that was my little caveat on our antagonist and constitutional right aficionado, Ernesto Miranda. So a little bit about Ernesto and his past. So Ernesto Arturo Miranda was born on March 9th, 1941 in Mesa, Arizona. He was the middle child to a large Mexican-American family, and sadly, Ernesto's mother died when he was just 6 years old. Yeah. So, and his father didn't wait very long at all to remarry. I couldn't find any reliable sources on like how much time, but all the sources used very, very descriptive words on how short the time was, leading me to believe it was very, very alarmingly short. Okay. Like a month at best. So let's just say the blended family didn't blend very well. Ernesto, 6 years old, just lost his mom, middle child. He clashed with his stepmother immediately and constantly. They were always fighting, disagreeing, yelling, and disrespecting each other. So the 6-year-old was disrespecting the adult, but the adult was also disrespecting the 6-year-old. It just like hurling insults. Like, we're not talking about your regular run of the mill, like, you're not my mom nonsense. Like, we're talking about borderline abusive, back and forth bullshit.
Like throwing stuff at each other.
I'm sure, because so my next point is, like a lot of fathers did in the 1940s, his father stepped up and disciplined him, but like in the 1940s way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, shockingly, corporal punishment.
Gave him a few cracks.
Yeah, pretty much. And shockingly, corporal punishment had absolutely zero positive results on Ernesto Miranda and just about anyone else on the planet. But
so it's two things he gave us.
Exactly. Well, no, because nothing happened with that. It was just horrible. But my point being, corporal punishment didn't work. Shocking on anyone. Okay. And I will die on that hill. Okay. But okay. So when that type of discipline didn't work, he had enough of him and sent Ernesto off to reform school. Because let's be fair, Ernesto, the little 6-year-old, wasn't exactly a walk in the park either. He was really bad, constantly getting into trouble, constantly being defiant, constantly being disrespectful. So they sent him off to reform school, which oddly enough was something a lot of parents also seemed to do in the 40s. The 40s was a very interesting time. So you can't deal with them. You just pay someone else to deal with them.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. Like in movies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you get sent out to like military school.
Literally same thing. Boot camps, like, the whole Paris Hilton thing, troubled teenagers get sent to these horrible camps where like now it's coming out that they weren't learning shit. They were just being abused. And duh. But, hindsight's 2020, right. Isn't it? So Ernesto was nothing if not consistent. By his teen years, he was racking up quite a record that read a lot like a how to spot a red flag manual and like not so much as like a great coming of age story. So this man was like a walking red flag from 14 years old. He was convicted of burglary at 14. So he was convicted. So he was found guilty in a juvenile court and was sent to the Arizona State Industrial School for Boys. Sounds like horrible things happen there, but whatever. So he immediately escaped. Once.
Just escaped.
The first time, yeah. So one time, yes, I said the first time. Yep. He got checked in, settled in, immediately escapes. He sucked at it, so he got caught. So naturally, he just did it again.
Yeah.
Like a freaking teenage Houdini with horrible timing because he got caught again. So by 1956, he was out of the Arizona State Industrial School for Boys. But again, very consistent. Yeah, not for long. That same year, so 1956, and not too long after his release, actually, he was arrested for peeping, like a peeping Tom, like watching girls like get undressed through windows.
Oh, well, I thought this was for boys.
No, he was out of the school.
Oh, he was out of the school. Oh, yeah, I thought he got caught peeping at the school. God. I was like, wait.
No.
I was like, is this the twist?
No, I was going to say the twist came super early. No. So he got released from that school. Because remember, he was there because he was convicted for burglary.
Okay, yeah.
But he was a juvenile. So he probably spent a couple months there. Who knows? Maybe a year. It doesn't say. It's very hard to find.
Sorry for that reaction. It was.
No, it's fine. You were confused. So it's hard to find information on juvenile convictions and things like that because obviously they're all minors, both the perpetrators and the victims. So I don't know how long he was in there for the burglary conviction, but he got out and immediately was like, I think a couple months later, back at the same school because he was arrested for peeping on women or girls, voyeurism, and sex-related offenses involving a young woman in Phoenix.
My God.
So again, he was 14, 15 at best, right? And I could not find details on what the crime was, who the woman was, because she was a minor as well.
Well, just so our listeners know, voyeurism is when you strip down completely naked, right? Just so we all know. No? Oh, okay.
That's streaking.
Oh, that's streaking. But what's voyeurism?
Voyeurism is like watching people have sex.
Oh.
Or watching
that's a crime?
Oh my God.
Hold on a second.
If you're doing it through someone's window and they don't know, yes, that's a crime.
If you're fucking in your window, sorry, but if you're having intercourse in your window, your blinds, you're a nasty man. Your blinds are open.
You're a nasty
and I'm walking
man.
And I'm like, this is just incredibly disrespectful.
That's not watching secretly.
I'm the one that gets in trouble
No.
for voyeurism all of a sudden.
Well, if you stand there and stare with like a snack, yes.
I'll be like, officer, my clothes were on the whole time. Like, sir, that's streaking, and you're
And
on private
that's
property.
Like no, that's not exploitation. It's like exhibitionism when you like show off your business in public where
Gotcha,
people don't
okay.
want to see it. But no, so like voyeurism is more of like a secret spying thing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like video
Like
voyeurism is like
no, because I see it.
when you
'cause
record
peeping.
someone without their without their consent.
Mhm.
That's video voyeurism. But when you're just like watching through like a glory hole, it's I'm sorry.
Which wasn't the case here, though, right?
I don't know.
Oh, we don't know.
But I don't think so. No,
Oh,
it
okay.
sounds to me, from what I can piece together, it sounds to me like he was watching her either shower or get undressed and he was masturbating and he got caught.
Mhm.
That's what it sounds like to me, because it says sex-related offenses. It could be that he tried to assault her, but it sounds more likely that this is actually a very common crime in young boys. If you look it up, they like
They
they-
stroke it.
mhm,
Yeah.
to like watching people through the window. They don't realize that's a huge felony. Now, okay, that sounded like a huge
I was
generalization.
gonna say, listen,
no,
is
no,
that
no.
something I need to discuss
not
with my son eventually?
No,
Like,
I'm
listen,
not saying like guys do this.
I was
it's totally
born
cool.
with this thought that you shouldn't do this,
Yes,
but I'm gonna pass the knowledge to you just in case.
just in case it's not in there.
Mom's telling me it's illegal.
No, I worded that so badly. I'm
Okay, yeah,
sorry.
please.
So what I mean is, I don't mean that it's super common for boys to do this. It's so funny. It's horrible.
I was gonna say,
what
you
I
need to
meant was
raise awareness. Let's
what
wear
I-
t-shirts.
No, it's completely horrible. And if your son is doing this, please stop them, because this is
Be
like the McDonald's triad.
he's just exercising his Miranda rights.
Shut up.
Go ahead.
This is like it's like the triad, right? It's like there's signs. A lot of serial killers have these three things where it's like they had a head injury, they start fires. Like there's a formula to these things, right? This is the formula that 99% of the time leads up to sex crimes. That's what I meant by it's very common for like juvenile offenders that this is what they get caught doing when it's a sex related crime. I'm not saying like all these boys are out here or that all juvenile perpetrators are doing this. I'm just saying it's alarming how much that story is on like records for serial killers, like you've heard of. It's alarming. And like everything, we all already know crimes escalate. They don't really de-escalate. So if you're at 15 years old, peeping and doing sex-related offenses, which again could have been an assault, I don't know, but just from like what I can pick up and read and like the little pieces I could get together, it sounds like that's what he was doing, which is horrible, traumatizing for the poor girl. So like I said, can't find too much on juveniles, but what I could find does kind of sound like it could have been an attempted rape, assault, or masturbating, like where she could see him on purpose or vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, So he served time in county jail for that crime. But insanely enough, those charges didn't exactly teach young Ernesto anything, because after getting out of county jail for that crime, he bounced between California and Arizona, taking odd jobs as a day laborer, truck driver, dishwasher, basically anything he can find on his spare time between odd shifts where he was committed to petty theft and auto theft. Okay, so
My God.
yeah,
Career criminal.
literally. So he was committing a lot of crimes with cars and petty theft in between working any odd job he can find, jumping between California and Arizona for 1 year. So then in 1957, this guy's very active. There's like a lot going on with this dude.
Yeah.
While in LA, he was convicted again, but this time of armed robbery. Because like we already said,
Yeah, it escalates.
it escalates. So first, it was petty theft and he got like a little juvenile burglary charge. Now we're moving up to, and this is why I'm saying I don't think it was an assault, because I don't think he's there yet. I think he's building up. Like, look, burglary is now armed robbery, meaning because with burglary, it means you're going into the home or into a shelter and no one's in there. You're going in, you're taking stuff, you're leaving. That's burglary. Robbery It's when you take something from somebody. So this means he probably pulled a gun or a knife on someone and was like, give me your phone, give me your, well, not in the friggin' 50s, there's no cell phones. Give me your bag, give me your keys, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And he was sentenced to 1 year in the Arizona State Penitentiary, which is so crazy to me because you're telling me he was armed and attacked someone and he got 1 year.
And he already has a history of
Thank you.
He already has like a crime rap sheet.
Yeah.
He's a peeper.
And it's getting worse. Like,
yeah, it's getting worse.
And it's not hard to figure that out. If you're keeping score at home, by age 22, Ernesto had a rap sheet longer than his resume. And that's all before the crime that we're even here to talk about today and made him famous. Like,
this is just like the buildup.
Literally, this is not none of those crimes lead to what we're here to talk about today. Like, that's just his background. So you can get to know what an amazing man this guy was. And he is the epitome of, if you put that energy into something good, you'd actually be killing it. Because this man did not stop. He was just going and going and going and going. But the problem was, it was all crime.
He's
like
an all-star, like in the criminal world.
Yeah, it's like, dude, put that energy somewhere else, right? But okay, I digress. So naturally, when the Phoenix police spotted his name and it popped up in 1963, it wasn't exactly figuring out the plot twist to like a mystery novel. It was more like deja vu, right? Everybody was like, oh my God, this guy again. So like, it was not a surprise. So that brings us fast forwarding to 1963, the crime that made history and changed everything for law enforcement. It's March 3rd, 1963 in Phoenix, Arizona. And a young woman is walking home from the bank where she works, and a man approaches her with a knife and forces her into the car. He then drives this poor thing to a deserted area and assaults her, sexually assaults her. In the back seat, he ties her hands, beats her senseless, and sexually assaults her. He then gets out of the car, gets himself together, tells her to stay down in the back seat, and drives further off into an area that she does not know. And then he stops the car and tells her to just get out.
Oh my God.
Like, he goes, okay, get out. And she's like confused, right? She's like, oh my God, is he going to kill me when I try to get out? Like, what the hell's going on here? She doesn't know where she is. And he just says, don't tell anybody, and leaves. That's it. And she's like, what the fuck? So she obviously tells the police. So, like, nothing happened. Like, dropping her off from a bad date. It was just confused. Right. And the next morning, the terrified young woman reports the attack and the rape to the local police. And she tries to describe the car, the man, and the scene of the crime as much as her traumatized mind can recall. Because not only is she insanely traumatized, and we all know that trauma definitely messes with memories, and that's why eyewitnesses are not always reliable, but it was also nighttime. So, the car could have been brown, black, blue. It was just a dark color. He's very not unassuming, but he's very generic, like dark hair, dark eyes. Like, it's just, there's not really a defining feature about him. So local police canvass the area and they find a car matching the description. And when they run the plates, it belongs to Ernesto Miranda. And that's when the cops were like, oh, this guy again. And they're like, bring him in. For sure, it was this guy. So that was a name, like I said, that law enforcement knew very, very well. And I'm sure the benefit of the doubt was non-existent, and with good reason, because the best indicator of future behavior is always past behavior. So they bring him in for quote unquote questioning. No arrest, no warning, just a friendly little chat, a little casual conversation that'll eventually lead to change U.S. laws forever. So the police bring him in for a lineup with a few other men, and the poor victim is asked to identify if one of the men is the man who ruined her life the night before, basically. The victim, watching behind a one-way mirror, eyes Miranda and says, quote, "He looks similar." to her attacker, is what she's
Yeah.
referring to, obviously. And in 1963, he looks similar, was all cops needed to shift gears from a casual chat to a full-on interrogation. So they
Yeah.
take him to the back room, sit him down, just like you see in the movies, a small, dim room. Cops begin a 2-hour brutal questioning of this guy, which honestly, 2 hours is like not that bad. I have seen interrogations that are, wrongfully last like 14 hours, like crazy
Jeez.
shit. Well,
what do you ask him? How many questions?
well, it's
you probably
here nor
make him
there.
like sit there.
You just
Yeah.
like it. I'm just saying, interrogations can go on forever and ever and ever, and it's horrible. And that's usually the ones you hear about, like, well, they forced the confession out of me and stuff, because who the hell can think straight after sitting in a room for 15 hours? 2 hours seems like he's weak, but that sounds insane to me. So they start 2 hours of questioning, no attorney. They don't let him know about any of his rights. So no attorney, no rights, no problem, right? At least not yet. Eventually, Miranda confesses and says he is the one that attacked that young woman that night before. And he then dictates and signs a written confession, carefully typed out by the police, complete with Miranda's signature. And at the top of the statement, it reads, "I hereby make this statement voluntary and with full knowledge of my legal rights." Except he kind of had no clue about his legal rights, and nobody mentioned what those were. And spoiler alert, that detail becomes hella important.
Did he find that out? Did he point that out? Did he read it and say,
Obviously not.
wait a minute, I don't know my rights?
Obviously not. So at trial, the prosecution waves that confession around like a trophy, right? It's their crown jewel. It's the prosecution's case, like nail in the coffin. Miranda's defense lawyer, though, argues that that confession was coerced. But the court shrugs and says, was it? I don't know. The trial goes on, and the jury finds him what?
I think it's bullshit. I mean, I already know where this is going.
So
but
they find him guilty.
they find him guilty.
The jury, the trial court jury finds him guilty of kidnapping and rape, and he was sentenced to 20 to 30 years in prison.
Okay.
And that's the end of our story. A happy and justice-filled ending.
But where was
I'm just kidding. It's not over. So
okay.
It wouldn't be our podcast if it was over.
Say,
Better said.
I mean, that's too happy of a story for this scumbag to go to jail. But
Exactly. So better said. That could have been the end of the story. But Ernesto's lawyer had other big career plans and a pretty great knack for reading this little old document called the U.S. Constitution. So Miranda's attorney, John J. Flynn, which sounds like a fictional attorney to me, right? It sounds like Perry Mason or something.
Sounds like a song, like John Jacob
Flynn. So John J. Flynn files an appeal, claiming his client's confession violated his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination and his Sixth Amendment right to counsel. So in Arizona, the appellate court looked over everything and actually affirmed the lower court's decision and ruled that Miranda's constitutional rights were not violated since he did not specifically request an attorney.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of ignoring the fact that he didn't know he could.
But he didn't know he could, yeah.
Yeah, so.
You don't know you have that weapon. You don't know you have the option,
Exactly.
But I mean, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that he beat a woman senseless.
And sexually assaulted her.
Yeah, so all right, you broke one law, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But he beat a woman.
No, I know what you're saying. So listen.
I mean, one law could outweigh the other law, can't it?
Well, hello, we were just talking about the Tylenol murders where the guy got off of a murder where he dismembered the guy, allegedly, and like hung what was left of him from the attic. And he got off because he didn't get his Miranda rights.
Yeah, that's
so
nuts.
To answer your statement, you just wherever that landed, you just pick it up. Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but yes, it doesn't change the fact that the evidence points to what you did, but it does in the US. Like you have the right to a fair trial, and it's not fair if you didn't know. These arguments can go in both ways forever and ever. It's all akin to notice. Listen, law comes down to notice. You can have all the evidence and all the things of the world, but if that person wasn't on notice that like they couldn't do that, and I'm not talking about like murder, like obviously laws you're expected to know, but the US Constitution is not laws. They're rights, they're protections. Same thing with like self-defense. People are like, "Oh, it's self-defense. We're good." No, you still go to trial. Self-defense is a defense. It's not an exception. It's not like, "Oh, you were scared, so yeah, you're fine. You can just go home. Don't worry about it. Dead guy, we'll just put him away. It's fine."
Mm-hmm.
You're still probably going to go to trial unless, the state decides not to. But so that's the difference. Like you're expected to know laws because they're the rules of society, right? Just like kids are expected to know the rules of the classroom. You're not expected to know, now you are, but back then, to know your constitutional rights and protections, even though everyone wants to talk about constitutional rights these days. They're saying he had the right, but like he didn't exercise it. So that's not my problem. The trial court got it right. That's what the Arizona Appellate Court said. Apparently, this was a problem across the board. So this case actually gets appealed again, and it climbs through Arizona's courts until it hits the big leagues, the United States Supreme Court in 1966. So the justices lump Miranda's case together with 3 other cases involving confessions obtained without legal warning. So that was the issue in the case. The Supreme Court justices looked at all the evidence. They looked, not the evidence. They looked at all the record from the prior trials, all these cases, how they got it, the confessions, all that stuff. Where Chief Justice Earl Warren, who had already reshaped civil rights with Brown versus Board, that's a big, big case.
Which one was that?
That was one that stopped segregation in schools.
Oh, okay.
So he had recently, this is 1966, he had recently delivered that opinion, changing civil rights. So now he was turning his gaze to the police interrogation rooms. And on June 13th, 1966, the court ruled 5-4 in favor of Ernesto Miranda.
That's bullshit.
Well, so after looking at all the cases, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the confession was obtained in violation of the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, as the police failed to inform him of his right, being the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, prior to custodial interrogation. So the majority of the court declared that the police must inform suspects of their rights before any questioning. Otherwise, any confession given during that questioning would be inadmissible in court.
Which is what he did, right? Because he pleaded.
No, he didn't plead. He went to trial.
He went to trial?
But
he was found guilty.
He was found guilty, and like the main point of the prosecution was the signed confession. Like that was where they put all their weight. They had other evidence, but that was their that's what they wanted to talk about the whole freaking time. And that's what got the jury to be like, "Oh, well, I mean, then yeah, he did it. Why are we even here?"
I know.
And he got convicted to 20 to 30 years. So those confessions are now going to be found inadmissible. This decision established what we now know as Miranda warnings, and thus the Miranda rights were born.
Miranda rights.
As we all know, thanks to cops and live PD and all these great these great on the field shows, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one will be provided for you. This needs to be sent to you before you are questioned by police. I'm not talking about like on the corner. I'm talking about like an interrogation, okay? There has to be detainment. So congratulations, Ernesto. You changed law enforcement forever. But unfortunately, you still have to go. So in February of 1967, Ernesto is tried again in a retrial where his confession is not entered into evidence. So remember, this doesn't get him off.
They just used the evidence that was weighed in.
Yeah. So when you win an appeal on something like this, on criminal stuff like this, you don't just like walk away. You get a retrial, or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean, sometimes you do just walk away, but that's, cases differ, particularly in criminal, because it's all fact and law based. So he gets sent back to the trial level, to the state level, I'm sorry, and he's tried again without the prosecution's main evidence. However, thankfully, the prosecution successfully introduced other evidence, including the testimony of his estranged common law wife. Yes, he was married when he did this.
He had a wife?
I know. I wish, this is the times I wish we were on camera already, because your face was so priceless. You look like you were on another
He had his
planet.
Wife, and his church group was there too. Where's all this shit coming from?
He's not PTK. But yeah, your face was priceless. It looked like you were on another planet and just came back right away. You were like, wait, I'm sorry, come again? Like, that was the face, eyes real wide. It was hilarious. So yes, even this guy can get married, which is crazy to me.
I plead the fifth.
No, not you, Ernesto. But good job pleading the fifth. His common law wife stated that Miranda had confessed the crime to her after his first trial. So Blabbermouth couldn't keep his friggin' mouth shut if you paid him. To the cops, to his wife, to like the guy selling snow cones. Apparently, he's super proud of himself. So
what qualities did he what
like,
what did she see in him?
Bruh, don't get me started. I don't know. Because he sounds like a real
you're
piece
his
of
wife,
shit.
right? But then he admitted to doing it, and then you're still his wife.
Well, no, it says estranged common law wife. So I'm pretty sure she left him. But, and I guess
I was going to be like, could you imagine? Yeah, he's a little flawed, he's just,
God, no. It's like we all have our flaws.
Seriously.
So, no, it sounds like she dumped his ass. So apparently he goes to his first trial. He gets found guilty and he tells her, I mean, yeah, I totally did it. So whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other issue. I'm not touching the 10-foot pole because, okay, lady, but all right. So with that, he again is found guilty of kidnapping and rape and sentenced again to 20 to 30 years. But in true dickhead fashion, he appeals this conviction too. But this time, the appellate court says, shut up, buddy, and ruled that the evidence used in the second trial was all admissible and sufficient for a conviction. So the U.S. Supreme Court later denied review. So the appellate court said, no.
We're not reviewing the...
No. The appellate court reviewed it and said, nice try. No, we're affirming the decision. So then now you can take it to the Supreme Court because you've already gone. It has to go through levels. You can't just skip.
Gotcha.
But the Supreme Court decides what cases to hear based on many factors. When this one came across their desk, they said, fuck you, buddy. They sent it back, okay? And it all stayed right where it landed. Thank God. So off Ernesto Miranda went to where he belongs, prison, to serve 20 to 30 years. But in true Married to Macabre fashion lately, there's not a really happy ending. Ernesto Miranda applied for parole. Why he was even given that option, again, beyond me, but okay. He applied for parole while in prison and was granted parole after serving approximately 11 years.
What the
For kidnapping at knife point, driving someone to a deserted area, raping her, and then dumping her in an area she didn't know. And that poor girl is serving a life sentence, if you think about it. Like, that trauma doesn't go away, ever. So she gets to serve a life sentence for what he did to her. But he gets 11 years.
That's crazy.
That's cool. It's totally cool. But the story is not over. And this ending is a little different. While out on parole, he briefly embraced his notoriety and became something of a celebrity in the law enforcement scene, believe it or not. And he began selling autographed Miranda cards. Miranda cards are little cards that police officers carried with the text of the Miranda warning so that they don't get it wrong. So he started autographing these and selling them for $150 a piece.
Goof.
Such a and in his old Phoenix neighborhood, that's what he was doing. So like he went back to his neighborhood where he thought he was a star. But then there were clearly morons who also thought he was a star and were like buying these things off him. So we just got it coming from all angles, right? But then,
wonder if we could find any on eBay or something.
Oh God, I have no interest. So he did that. And one night he went out to a bar, which I'm sure violated his parole, but I digress. And while he was there, he did what he does best. He started trouble and a bar fight broke out.
Of course
it did.
Dude's a pirate, man.
Literally a freaking pirate. So a bar fight broke out because that happens. I thought that was also only in movies. And all over a card game, by the way. Fucking card game. And Ernesto Miranda was stabbed multiple times and died at age 34.
Shit.
The man who stabbed him was arrested and read his Miranda rights. And the suspect invoked his right to remain silent and was ultimately released as police were unable to gather enough evidence for a conviction.
Oh my God.
And he practiced his right to remain silent, so there's no confession. And that's the story of why nearly every American can subconsciously recite, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you prior to any questioning if you wish. So that's today's episode. Until next time, stay creepy and always keep your mouth shut unless you're asking for a lawyer.
That's a good lesson.
So yeah, that's the history of Miranda rights. How'd that make you feel, Isaac?
That was odd.
That's a good way to describe it.
That was such a twist at the end. Like, too many twists. I don't like this episode. I was joking. No, it was cool. It was fine.
Well, don't worry. Again, if you liked it, even if you didn't like it, follow us on Instagram. I was going to
say, don't discourage the liking.
Follow us on Instagram, Married to Macabre Podcast, and follow us on YouTube and TikTok as well. DM us with any case recommendations. I actually got a couple and I'm looking into them, so it's always super fun. Also, if you read We Used to Live Here, because a couple people reached out for the author and for details, send us what you think or send us where you're at and how you're feeling, because that book is really weird. So I'm dying to know. Other than that, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Married to Macabre. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.